You're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most
All you people piss me off.
talent.
Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering.
Switching
And
nameplates?
until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there.
Oh, hair.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, hair. First, what? As things advance further in the trust trial, the hangman's gambit will eventually take place. To reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question, you have to deduce a phrase from the letters flying around that is already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the fly. Okay. I get it. Can figure out what that something is. Hair. Oh, okay. Shit, that's
Now I
fast.
understand.
Now I understand.
That's right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Apparently.
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there.
And I left her in my bathroom?
That makes sense, does it not?
No.
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Ha ha ha! Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
Oh, you know why, you fucking asshole.
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then, Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No.
Yeah.
There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these.
Okay, well, go off,
reasons.
Queen. Let us know.
Do you remember anything
Don't make me do all the work,
remarkable
goddammit.
about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
Yeah, they did. They had to break the doorknob.
What do you mean?
Which I'm not sure how that would let them in the room if the door still gets stuck.
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
Killer struggled getting into the bathroom, and the evidence that proves it is the object the killer broke. Fucking doorknob.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
Doorknob to the bathroom,
The
dumbass.
doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true.
How would that solve the door
But
frame issue,
what
though?
does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
The doors and the bathroom doors and boys' rooms don't lock.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? A bit more to learn about non-stop debate. Oh my god. Here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up, but no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in the debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. The truth will on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what is said, but you also lower your trust in everyone, and the influence gauge will take damage. Okay. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies and contradictions, but then good luck and have fun. Okay. Bathroom door frame.
The incident took place in Makoto's room.
There's a long one right
Sayaka
here.
was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom. At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
Nope.
No, it's wrong.
That door does not lock.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Her eyes kind of glow. I did not notice that.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be.
At least you're kind of impartial.
But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door.
Oh, why you gotta bring that up again?
That's not lucky at all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place?
Because they thought it was the girls' room.
Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
Yeah, the nameplates were swapped. The door that she couldn't be locked. In other words, the important detail about the scene of the crime, one that they didn't know. The crime took place in my room. They didn't know that.
The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room,
Then there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
Yup, there you go. Now you're trying to put it together.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But
Yeah, I still don't know how they got
the
in.
killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
What do you mean a possibility? It's a certainty.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
Thank you, fucking Christ. Vindication. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
That's why we're here, Mondo. We're working on it, okay?
Sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
Can I kill you next? Can I just get rid of you?
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
This is the dumbest idea, Taka.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Good input, hero.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, How did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Brilliant question.
Yes.
I actually don't have an answer for that
Get
one.
inside. Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I
No.
don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Key was in the room.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way.
She let him in.
They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
That's the only possibility, Makoto.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
What are you pointing at? I'm right beside you. Shit, I'm doing it again. There's no way Sokka could let someone in because... Night the murder, Makoto's victim discovered Makoto's room. Yes, Makoto's pushed with her because someone tried to force their way. Okay, I guess that one, huh?
God! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
Here comes the juicy bits.
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just this too. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplate to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw
Very
that,
good,
I was like,
Hina.
"Holy crap,
You're not Hina, you're
I better
Aoi.
make sure I rip
No, you're
the paper
Hina.
out before I use it from now on."
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room. Huh? Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No.
No, I didn't. But
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
And then that note. Sayaka wrote it.
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
You, because you said you don't like 3D.
Of course, I'm only
into 2D so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Not really, but go ahead.
Very well then. Pay attention.
Dorm nameplates.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Yes.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
Yes.
So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that.
Oh shit, I don't know which one I need to go with. The killer went to my room instead of Sayaka's, and the reason for that is I had to be because of what got switched between Nia and Sayaka's room.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms.
Okay.
It specifically says, I see. Then they would have gone to
exactly the room.
No, hold on.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
That's right.
They got switched?
Yes.
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves.
I didn't do it though, so I don't know who did that.
As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus,
Yes,
their rooms are
there you
right
go,
next
you gotta
to
clean
each
it
other.
together, okay?
So switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Of course it wasn't me.
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
Monokuma? We knew we had switched rooms. Sayaka, but...
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
That's right.
You can also infer as much from her note.
Something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, come to see me in my room. Check the nameplates and make sure you don't get in the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
To fucking frame me.
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out. We know who
Why
did
would they
it.
do that?
Whoever she invited over is the culprit.
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot.
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then
Oh my god,
we
this is
just
going on
have
for
to
so long.
figure out what happened during the fight, right?
We already know who did it.
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
There's gold flecks on it. The reason I know Sayaka's wrist was broken with the fixed sword is because if you look at her wrist, there's no doubt.
to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear.
There's gold on it.
Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
I love gold.
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
She got hit with a sword.
Got it! Because she got hit with the sword, right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
Not yet, we're not even close. What happened in my room, and what led to Saka's death, that's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about oh my god, okay. Close to the are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple true bullets into your truth cylinder. But just like with a weak spot, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. Yeah, I know, that's how you lose. Or you can hold down left button to use that. Okay, left bumper. Okay, if you're able to... No run. For our purposes this time, the electric we set to mean. Isn't that set to medium? Is mean medium?
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. The sword-based sneak attack.
No, it's wrong. Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
It does not.
Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it.
I don't
Like
see
someone
shit,
cut
but we'll
into
go
it
with
with
what you're
something
saying.
sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
Yeah.
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means that Sayaka was the aggressor because she had the knife.
Whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere.
No.
Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too.
And then why would they use the sword against her and not the knife?
After they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Something in my eye, hang on. Yeah.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
There's no gold on her hand.
How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Her hands. Where your body went to touch. Her palms.
You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean. So I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palm?
I already said why. The gold coating.
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Yeah, because that would be her priority, right?
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that?
And what, because they turned the water off?
Because you think I'm ugly?
Shut the fuck up.
No, that's not it at all.
Yes, I know, the water is off.
According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
It's been 4 days.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big, fat, ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
An insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword.
Which means he used it for defense initially, which means Sayaka was the aggressor.
But hold on.
Or the initial aggressor.
Then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
Sayaka.
Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Yes.
And the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka.
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
Oh, there's something in my eye still. Hang on. I'm trying my best to get it out. Hang on. Okay.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
What?
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation,
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct?
Yep.
Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms
To frame
was
me.
so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come
Look
to
at Leon, he
Makoto's
knows he's
room
fucked.
where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky?
Yeah, it does.
For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wow, bitch. Fuck you too.
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired.
Obviously.
She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true!
What other options are there, Makoto?
Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it.
Motherfucker, be patient, shit.
If I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time.
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery.
I'm working on it.
If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, There's nothing left. Dying message.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right? No, it's wrong.
Yeah, this is easy. It's the first case, but still, Jesus.
There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining, wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the
Flip it
killer
around
hidden
and
in there.
upside down.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
Yes, you dumb bitch.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure.
I'm trying to
I think
mimic
we
what
can
she would
all
have done.
agree
It's
Sayaka wrote it.
fucking
But
weird.
still. What the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
Yeah, that's how it works.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
What? What?
It looks like Leon.
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers.
Just say they're letters.
Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa. You might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
What does that
But
mean?
even if that really is an N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn it, it's no use. I just don't know.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Thank you, Kyoko. Huh? Rotate it. I think maybe I see something.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it. So, whose name did she write?
Are you all blind? Saka's dying message reveals the real killer's name. Turn the image 180 degrees. Should become crystal clear. It was me. I did it. Motherfucker, it's you.
Answer.
You're the war shirt.
The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees. If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N. Or more accurately, Leon.
Leon! Help me, Leon. What?
What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence.
A coincidence that she wrote your name?
It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all.
It was her dying message. Why would she write random shit?
She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
I mean, you guys were saying for the longest time it was me.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence
Yeah, the
Leon
shirt.
tried to get rid of?
I think I found the ground from the incinerator, right?
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them.
I mean, it would have been impossible not to get blood on her. Don't get blood on yourself once stabbing her.
In the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
No, but how he did it is.
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
I mean, technically Leon's not wearing a white button-up,
right.
but...
There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Fucking music is going in, Jesus.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, I think so.
The burnt remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer wasn't able to get rid of. There's something about it that we need to pay attention to in order to figure out how it was disposed. Where it was disposed of, where it was... Wait, when, where. It was destroyed. If we focus on that, the killer will become clear. Where it was destroyed, you're talking about the trash room incinerator, right? How the fuck is that supposed to make anything clear?
Shoot!
Oh, oops. Oops. How?
I got it! If we look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either. You'd need the key to get in, and the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty.
I mean, you could just hit the button to turn it on.
So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There's another way you can use the incinerator without being the one on cleaning duty. Exactly what proves that Leon's the real killer. Make your argument.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
Yes.
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator.
That's bullshit.
No, that's wrong. Hold on.
Aw.
I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But
Go off, Makoto.
Past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but,
But how would you use it?
By throwing it. Try to use a glass ball in a certain way, which was throw it.
I got it! The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Yep.
Someone threw a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Huh? Someone turned the incinerator on. Very strange. I'm quite certain it was off last time I was down here. Perhaps it was the work of a fairy.
Hifumi had the key, so the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate.
That's right.
Once they got the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
That's right.
Come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left...